In this video, I removed the engine fuel line from I believe it was a 1999 Volvo V70. That's a P80 car. So from 99 through 2004 will have the same process. And it's possible that the P2 cars from 2001, maybe all the way up to 2007 or 2008, may have the same process as well. This fuel line is trapped under the harmonic balancer, so you need to remove kind of a lot of stuff to get to it, and most importantly, it's the accessory bracket that holds the alternator, AC compressor, stuff like that has to be removed to get this fuel line from wrapped around the engine. So this video will kind of go through some of the things that I had to do to get that fuel line removed. It's not a detailed step-by-step instruction, but if you are a handy person, it kind of explains itself. The process is I removed the accessory belt. I had to take the intake manifold off. I removed the fan to gain some access to a few things. I removed the coolant hoses from the reservoir and from the radiator to the engine. I removed the harmonic balancer. I removed the front engine mount under the harmonic balancer. I supported the engine. And then I removed the alternator, the power steering pump, and took the AC compressor loose so that I could get that accessory bracket unbolted from the engine. And at that point, I was able to unplug the fuel line, disconnect the fuel line from the fuel rail and from the back of the engine and remove that hard fuel line. So on the 99 2000 cars, that hose is no longer available. It has a different connector at the fuel rail, so you got to get a used one. And that's what I was doing here to help somebody out. So there you have it. Let's get started. From this car, I'm going to take this fuel line that goes to the back of the engine. I'm going to look at it, make sure it's not damaged. First thing I'm going to do is take off this wheel, pull that skirt back, and take a good look at that fuel line. Fuel line looks good, undamaged. So let's get this CV axle out of the way and take the brackets off the back of the fuel line and disconnect the fuel line there. Get the CV axle out, the bracket loose. Now I need to support the engine somehow, stacking wheels or something. Then I'm gonna take this mount loose here and drop the subframe. Then I'm gonna come up here, start removing the accessories. I removed this little vent tube from the computer box. Now I'm going to remove this power steering fluid tube here off the power steering pump. Then I'm going to cut this serpentine belt and take loose the power steering pump. Then I'm going to take this hose off here and cut this hose out of the way here. I think I'm going to remove the fan. That's going to give me access to the belt. So to get the fan out, I'm going to take those 8 millimeters out there, those T25s up there, unplug the electrical connectors to the fan, undo all the vacuum and wire harnesses off the fan, and lift the fan up and out of the way. Took the fuel rail loose from the intake manifold. Now I'm going to take this bar loose and pop that fuel line out of there because I don't have the proper tool to disconnect it. So let me go ahead and take those screws loose. Then I'm going to take the intake manifold loose. To make it easier to get these screws out of this pump, it'll be better to take the computers out, but I didn't bring the tool. But take the box cover off, pull the tin out there, pull the cover off, unlatch, take this housing off of it. Took the power steering pump loose and swung it to the side over here. Left that pressure line hooked up. Then I took a bolt out of the side of the alternator, 12 millimeter. And I took the 4 bolts out of the AC compressor. Two of those holds the alternator in, the two upper bolts in the AC compressor. So after I got the one bolt off the side, the two bolts off the bottom of the alternator, I lifted that up out of the way. Then I got the two bolts at the bottom of the AC compressor. So that AC compressor is loose because this fuel line runs right there behind this bracket. So I got to take this engine bracket loose. I got two bolts there, one bolt here, one bolt here, looks like one bolt here, and that should get that engine bracket loose. Hopefully. I might have to take the idler loose too, so that I can get that fuel line out. I also need to take this intake manifold off, so I'm gonna do that next. All right, I got 7 bolts out of there. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I don't have the 7th one out. That one's still there. I'm gonna take this bracket loose before I take that loose, in case that engine moves, which I don't think it should. And hopefully I'll be able to pry this bracket out of here. I'm gonna get the intake manifold off next. Took the spark plug cover off so that I get the PCV hose loose. I cut the hose off the side of this intake manifold. I took the starter out so I could get the cord loose from the ETM, or I could have took the ETM off. I pulled the starter and lifted the intake manifold out of the way. Now I have one bolt left in this bracket. So let me go ahead and take that bracket loose. Try to put something under this wheel to support the engine, because I need to take this mount loose. Remove this mount actually, so that I can get that fuel line from around it. And I need to disconnect the fuel line there. It has its own disconnect, so I'm gonna push it in and unplug it. So I got that last bolt out of the bracket came off. I got a bracket here, 10 millimeter. I need to take that loose, and then I'll take that mount off the front and try to support this engine somehow to get this thing out of here. Had to pull this front engine mount. I couldn't get it out without pulling a harmonic balancer, because I didn't have the right tool for that. So let me pry this out of the way, then I should have my fuel line. There it is. My fuel line should be loose.
You good?
Now I need to unplug it from there. Push that sleeve in, then pull the line out, and we should be good to go. Let me go up top and pull it through. There's the fuel line. So there you have it. The fuel line has been removed. Hey, I appreciate you all watching. I hope that you liked the video. You share it with people that need to see it. And of course, that you subscribe to my channel so that you can see future videos that I post and be notified of that. I appreciate your support, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.